Hey guys, just another quick video about Bryan Kohberger. This is the latest. There's a couple of things I want to talk about. I want to talk about Bryan wearing surgical gloves to clean his vehicle and put trash in his neighbour's bin. And also, some new court documents have been released. Let's look at those as well. But let's read this article from CNN. A man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students in November 13th, had thoroughly cleaned the interior and exterior of his car and was seen wearing surgical gloves multiple times before being apprehended, a law enforcement source tells CNN. Bryan, 28, is currently the sole suspect in the gruesome stabbings of students Kaylee, Maddie, Xana and Ethan. The source, who spoke on the condition of anonymity, was briefed on observations made by the investigators during 4 days of surveillance leading up to Kohberger's arrest at his family's home on December 30th. As Kohberger now remains behind bars in Idaho awaiting his January 12th status hearing, new details emerged about his movements, and his movements on November 13th are crazy. I'm going to talk about that in another video. So the surveillance team assigned to Kohberger was tasked with 2 missions, according to multiple law enforcement sources. 1, keep an eye on him so they could arrest him as soon as a warrant had been issued, and try to obtain an object that would yield a DNA sample from Kohberger, which could then be compared to DNA evidence found at the crime scene. He was seen multiple times outside his parents' Pennsylvania home wearing surgical gloves. In one instance, prior to his arrest, authorities observed him leaving the family home around 4 a.m. and putting trash bags in the neighbours' garbage bins. At that point, agents recovered garbage from Kohberger's family trash and what was observed being placed into the neighbours' bins. So I bet they've gone through every single piece of trash. I mean, that's a massive red flag. Why put trash in your neighbour's bin? Was his family bin overflowing, so they put it in the neighbour's bin? Why do that? We don't know how close to the house that neighbour was, but seemingly there was something that he wanted to get rid of. Did he have an inkling that he was being surveilled? Maybe. Why wait till you go all the way to Pennsylvania to clean the interior of your car? I mean, the exterior, I understand, because it's going to get really dirty, and indeed it was, travelling 2,400 miles. But to clean the interior of the car, I mean, how thoroughly did he do it? And if you scrub it hard enough, you're going to get rid of any trace DNA or blood. You have to scrub really hard to get rid of blood. Why wait that long? Why didn't he do it straight after the murders? Would he have thought that, would that bring too much attention to him? Well, no. Somebody cleaning the car really doesn't bat an eyelid. But that's weird. Massive red flag. So they talk about the recovering items that were sent to the state lab, but we know from the affidavit that law enforcement picked up his dad's DNA. So maybe they just took a bunch of trash to wherever they take it, sifted through, and thought, we'll try and get a DNA profile. Now, I'm convinced that they've got more information, more evidence than that they've given us so far. I think we've only seen a fraction of what they've got at their disposal. So there's that. Now, in the same article, this is an interview with Steve Gonzalez, Kaylee's dad. And he told CNN in an interview that aired on Friday morning that he had no reason to think his daughter was the killer's target in particular. Nobody understands exactly why he was stalking them. He was hurting them, Gonzalez said. He was a person looking for an opportunity, and it just so happened to be that house. And that's hard to see. She had a phone right next to her, so he's talking about Kaylee. She had a phone right next to her and she couldn't call 911. So these were just girls who went to sleep that night, and a coward, a hunter, went out and he picked his little opponent that were girls, and probably why the house was targeted. He's got a point. He's definitely got a point. None of these girls deserve this, and of course there's Ethan as well. He didn't deserve it either. The real problem we have is that we have an individual that thought it was okay to attack other human beings. I've been a little bit surprised if there wasn't a clearer touch point that would suggest he was interested in one or two. Gonzalez said, "He knows I want him to look me in the eye," so he didn't. He didn't give me that opportunity. He's scared to look at me in the eyes and start to understand what's about to happen to him. He picked the wrong family. We're not scared of conflict. We're not running. We're coming at him. I want him to look me in the eye. Will he? No, I don't think he will, because he's too much of a coward. Anyway, I've got some court documents to show you. These were filed by Ann Taylor, who's the public defender for Bryan. So this one invokes his rights to remain silent and to counsel, pursuant of the 14th Amendments in the United States Constitution and Article 1, Section 13 of the Idaho Constitution, with respect to any and all questions or interrogation. So she's filed that, so it means that Bryan can sit there in jail looking forward to his commissary, eating his vegan cheese toasty, whatever, and he's going to say nothing, because it's his right to say nothing, as his attorney told him to say nothing. So, through his public defender, hereby moves this court for the superior directing of Lato County. We did wonder who'd filed that court order. Well, it's Ann Taylor, his defence. So she petitioned the court and requested that the crime scene be left as it is. I think that's a fair point, honestly. Anyway, this is the third document from her. Bryan C. Kohberger, in and through his undersigned attorneys, so hereby stipulate to the assurance of non-dissemination order publishing attorneys, investigators and law enforcement. So it doesn't include the media, doesn't include YouTubers. It's literally a procedural thing to stop the attorneys, the investigators and law enforcement talking. Now, if we're to believe that earlier article that I showed you, which was a Daily Mail, or Daily Fail as we call it in the UK, and it only relates to attorneys, investigators and law enforcement. So that piece in the press today about what was said in a text message or series of text messages to Bryan, was Bryan lying in wait outside of the house, saw the door truck driver. Well, if the camera picked him up outside the grub truck, wouldn't it be worth having a look a little bit further out to see if we can find him? I don't even know whether he will be there at all, but yeah, it's the safest place for him to be, behind bars. So let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. As always, I'll see you very soon. Bye, guys.